Michael, a situation that you actually caught us up on last week involving the pop singer David and Celeste Rivas, who's this 17-year-old, and her body was discovered, if memory serves, in the trunk of a Tesla that was found in a rental car lot in California. At the time, he was on tour. David was on tour in the Northeast, I believe, in the Seattle area, and I remember he canceled a couple shows at the time we checked in with you last. So get us kind of updated on these new police records that you guys, your newsroom, obtained these.
Yeah, and even more tragic, she was 15 now, and when she went missing, she was only 13 years old. She went missing in April of 2024. It sounds like, from everything that we've heard and been told, that she had a really troubled time at home and just a troubled life in general. In about a 13-month period, 14-month period, cops were dispatched out to her family home in the Los Angeles area. It's about 50 or so miles outside of LA. 11 times in that again, that 13 or so month period. Nothing major, but disturbances and things like that, where they were dispatched out. And she had run away at certain periods of time. It's not that it was a one-time thing where she disappeared in April of 2024. She had run away a couple of times prior and had been returned. Sadly, this time she never came back, and she was missing until she was eventually found deceased. And it's a horribly sad story. Police trying to still figure out what happened. They have not named David a suspect, though they have raided his home. They've searched his home for blood. There are a lot of questions, and you're absolutely right. He was on tour when the body was found, but there is a lot of reason to suggest that her body was inside the vehicle for weeks before. So if this was a crime, and it wasn't an accidental death, say, if there was an actual crime here, it's been really hard nailing down when the crime happened, when her death happened. They did an autopsy. They're not even able to determine how she died. They're waiting for toxicology reports. So it's a really difficult investigation because of the length of time that passed in between. And I think everyone's taken a wait and see approach on this guy. He's a pretty big star and becoming bigger, but he had new music that was about to come out. A lot of companies and partners of his have pressed pause now, obviously trying to figure out, did he have anything to do with this horrible situation? So it's just a sad story. Again, she was 15 years old and she's gone.
Have we heard from him at all? And has he publicly spoken about this? Made a statement?
No.
Nothing?
No, he has not. And you're right. He was performing. He continued to perform for a couple of days after this happened. And I think it got to the point where it's just not possible to do it anymore, because the story had gotten so much attention that he couldn't continue to tour. It just looked horrible, first of all. And I think people who were associated with him didn't want him touring. So he has not, though, to answer the question. He has not said anything yet. And I think fans and people are eager to hear him speak. They want to know what happened, because he did have some connection with this person, because there's photos, there's a lot of evidence to suggest that they might have been in some sort of, might have been a friendship, might have been a relationship, unclear, but they knew each other. That's a fact.
I'm seeing here too that there was some new surveillance, 2 different incidents, one to a liquor store.
Yeah. Because I think, there's some surveillance showing her in a dispute with a neighbor, and they're kind of having an argument seemingly back and forth. I think people are interested in the surveillance video because you want to see where she was, when she was alive, because again, it's unclear when she passed away. So I think if you see a video and it's from, pick random date, you could say, okay, obviously she was alive on that day, and it provides a timeline in many ways. So I think that's why, and people are just interested in what her life was like. Where was she living? Was she living on the street? What was going on with her? Because that can likely answer a lot of the questions here that are still unanswered.
One question is, in terms of the family's reaction to this, have we heard from the family at all? Because these police records you mentioned 11 times in 13 months, that's basically like a monthly visit to the household by police. Have we heard a thing from them? Because it doesn't exactly paint a good picture for what life was like in that household.
Right. No, I think that's a good point. And we spoke with one of Celeste Rivas' ex-boyfriends, and he said that he felt like she was not treated well at home, and that was his experience, and that was kind of his perception of the situation. But he said she was not treated right. Her mom is there's a language barrier there, first of all, so she's kind of laid low. It's been, I think, a bit difficult for her to get her message out at times. But we have spoken with her mom. Her mom actually contacted her before they had identified Celeste Rivas as the girl, as police were trying to figure out who this was. Her mom contacted us and said, I think that's my daughter, because they had described some distinguishing marks, that she had tattoos and such. And she felt like that was her daughter. And ultimately, then we called the police and said, hey, this mom thinks that could be her daughter. They contact mom, they start investigating, and sure enough, mom was right, sadly. So outside of that, she hasn't had much to say. Again, I think she's another person that people probably really want to hear from here.